I'm a human, not a stone. I can make a change and go wherever I want to. They told me maybe I'm too old, but there's a fire in my soul. That is the Roop. They are from Lithuania. And this song is all about achieving your dreams, trying to be the best you, regardless of your age, and regardless of what the haters try to tell you. Shall we talk about it? Let's do
Let's do
this.
it.
You guys, when Eurovision 2020 was cancelled, I think this was one of the biggest casualties. Lithuania, who for the first time in my living memory had a really solid shot at winning Eurovision. There was so much hype behind the Roop and their song On Fire.
The world is my desire. I feel that I'm on fire.
This song was very quirky, very different, but it wasn't a joke. You couldn't call this a joke, despite the fact it had viral moments, fun dancing, quirky expressions, a big old magnifying glass. That magnifying glass was put to good use. Introspection, encouraging people to look into themselves and say, you know what? You can tell me the fire is not burning, but I'm gonna tell you this, it's burning real bright, okay? That flame is on fire. That's the message here. Apparently, Montes, one of the songwriters, he was told repeatedly that he was, unable, he could no longer basically become what he wanted to or do what he wanted to. And he was like, ha ha ha, hold up. I'm going to rewrite the story and I'm going to write the song On Fire. I just love the message. I love the melody. I think on stage, it really elevates the weird dancing that's really weird, geeky, eccentric, and yet you just want to join along. You want to join in. You want to learn the moves as we've seen on TikTok. This is feel good, this is great. I'm really sad for them. I hope they come back to the competition. I think Lithuania had a huge glow up and makeover this year with that national selection, and I hope they keep the momentum going. Angus.
I think the live performance is really what makes this. Because I have to be honest, my score is a bit influenced by the studio cut. On the studio version, it's not that I can take or leave it. It's just not as exceptional as it is live, because I think there's a catchy hook, catchy melody. It's like the weird quirkiness. I think that's the thing that almost puts me in two minds, because on some days you can absolutely love it and think it's amazing, and on other days it can all be a bit much and you don't want to do it. But yeah, I think the live performance was so smart. It had that viral moment in it that we've all kind of spoken about with the dance routine and all the little gestures. And I mean, I think the other difficulty that they had was obviously Iceland came out later with kind of a similar type genre song, which for many people kind of stole their thunder. But I think it's very clever. It's very modern. It is such glow up is exactly the word for Lithuania at the contest. This was a serious song that could have challenged and done well for them. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I go backwards and forwards on the studio cut, and I think the live performance is really what elevates this to being exceptional, but it is very good in itself as the song.
I do not have enough positive words in the world to describe how in love I am with this song. Away from Eurovision, I listen to almost entirely like indie, and I love a good bit of pop as well. So any indie with a bit of synth, I am sold. The fact that this came along and was going to be a Eurovision song, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, before they'd even won the national final, I was like, this is going to be one of my favourite ever Eurovision songs, already. I just completely adore it. It's just got that much of just kind of gets you kind of moving. The beat is so good. It's catchy. It keeps the song moving forward, and then it goes kind of into that wah 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 moment kind of later on where it's a bit more taken down, and then hits you back again with that dance and just that big kind of moment. It's so perfect. I cannot fault it in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, even ignoring the dance, I think this song just stands up for itself, even without that viral moment. I mean, it must be said, the first time I heard of the song was after its heat in Lithuania, and somebody just posted a dance. I was like, okay. And then when I actually listened to the whole song, I was like, Italian chef's kiss. It was so good. Yeah, I can't fault it. It's just perfection to me.
There's no doubt I'm strong enough to reach the state I've dreamed of. It's gonna happen, and I will do what I can just to be a better man. Deben Adarimi.
Yeah, what I like about this song is people's love for it. I don't share that love, but it really does light up a lot of people. And I think that's great. I came to this quite late because, I didn't listen to the songs because wiwibloggs started to record first reactions, and this was one of the ones I hadn't done. So I knew what people felt about it, but I didn't really have the chance to kind of look in on it. And when I did, it was a little anticlimactic. It didn't sort of light me up in the way similar entries, Iceland, I think Angus mentioned earlier, that had a much more bigger impact for me. Russia did as well, and those are the sort of songs that I would put, this is sort of one of those trio of songs or triage of songs. But I've known about the Roop for some time. Yes, I Do, which was the entry they had in 2018 for Eurovision, was excellent. I really liked that. And I think that On Fire as well, I like that in the vein of songs that they do. And light years better than Yuri Used, who went on, to represent Lithuania last year. But it does blow my mind that this topped the bookies' odds to actually win the contest. It reminds me of France, 1 year with On You, or that operatic song was like everybody was going crazy about it and then just fell flat. And I think that this would have had the same sort of fate. However, their album To Whom It May Concern and the follow-up album Ghost are really excellent offerings from the Roop. And I think that they are truly masters of their art in terms of what they do. And given their difficulty in representing Lithuania all these years, I think, it is a rather unfortunate story that when they really, sort of got the chance to represent Lithuania with a song that created that much hype, their journey pretty much ends in a year when there is no Eurovision. So, that saddens me. And I would like there to be some sort of healthy compromise where we do get to see them on the Eurovision stage on some level. So, yeah, the backstory and, the wider story of Lithuania's entries in general. I loved it. As a standalone song, it's a bit gimmicky. It's a bit, I get the whole message behind it, but it doesn't ignite that much within me.
You know what? This has musical moments, not just gimmickry, as you've implied. I think there is a real earworm quality to this. It's at once very outer space with all these digital sounds, but also very grounded on earth through the emotion he conveys with that gravelly, smoky voice and those amazing eyes. Vaidotas, he would have been a contender to win Eurovision's next top male model. Let there be no doubt. When we did an interview with them on wiwibloggs, you can hear it on our Spotify podcast, and also on YouTube. He's just got this intoxicating quality. I hope all of you will dive in. Love the message of the song. I love the kind of outre effects on stage. They do the hand motions, they have the magnifying glass, they're spinning, they're dancing. This dance is not a dance to be performed in public, okay? It's embarrassing. But when they do it, you want to watch it. Okay, this is not a train wreck. There's a high-speed TGV hunty, and I am paying for a first-class seat. In any case, why don't we go around and give our scores out of 10, along with a justification and a prediction of how this would have done, starting with Lucy.
In 2020, I feel this year is such high quality against Devon's opinion. And I actually gave 3 songs a 10 this year. This is one of them. It got a perfect 10. Yes. They are Lithuania's answer to Hot Chip. Hot Chip are a great band in the indie scene. When they come back to the national final next year, there's these worries of, are they going to have an equally great song? Yes, they are. I refuse to believe they're not going back to Eurovision 2021, even though they're having to go to a national final again. And don't get me wrong, their national final this year was quality. They had so many good artists with great songs. I still think with that level of landslide victory, over doubling the previous record for televote points or televotes, There's no way that the audience aren't going to be like, Roop, 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 wanting them back next year. I really think we're going to get them back next year with just something fabulous. Whether it is going to be as good as On Fire, don't know. But I really hope it is. I am so rooting for them. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they do bring to the national final next year.
Angus.
I gave this a 6.5, which in hindsight now I maybe feel is a little bit low. And I feel like maybe I've not given the best account myself. Essentially, I go backwards and forwards on enjoying it or not enjoying it. And I think I'm kind of closer to Devon's position of sort of when the live performance is there, I kind of get it and love it. And at other times, the quirkiness does not quite land with me. But I think that's very good. And that's definitely in like the better half of the songs this year. I just think for my personal taste, there's other songs that I enjoy more than this one.
Devon.
You know, Lucy mentions Hot Chip, and I have 4 of their albums. I'm a huge fan. I've seen them live in concert on 3 occasions, you know, so, you know, let's just say we are in the same, you know, we're both fans of Hot Chip. However, this isn't that. This isn't that.
What?
You know, this has a contemporary sound with vintage undertones. I get it. And it marries it up with really quirky visuals. You know, the magnifying glass, the, you know, red hand movements and all of that. But ultimately, you know, it's playful, but it's not stirring in that way. I'm giving this a 6. It's a decent song. And would it have won Eurovision? I truly doubt it. I genuinely doubt it. But I think that given the fact that Lithuania has underperformed at Eurovision, I think this would have given them a very respectable result. And it would have been a result that they would have been proud of. And I think that it would have created a magic moment. You know, sometimes you don't need to win Eurovision. You just need to be memorable. Case in point, Montenegro 2017, Slavko Kalezic. He'll always remember. And when Eurovision home concerts were being curated, he was one of the first artists that they went to, you know, create a moment for us. And I think that's what the Roop would have become. They would have got a very respectable result at Eurovision 2020, but they would have been remembered long before 2020. And they're acts that have done so well, but people forget them. Farid Mamadov, case in point, Hold Me, nearly won Eurovision 2013, but like, even most hardcore Eurovision fans don't remember him. And I think it's important to be memorable, particularly if you want to have a commercial angle to your art. And the Roop give us that.
You know, it only takes one tree to make 1,000 matches, and it just takes one match to burn 1,000 trees, okay? And you do that by setting something on fire. And that's what the Roop have done, okay? To be honest, I've never really followed the Lithuanian selection because the quality's just not been there for me. It's not kind of justified pushing all the other selections to the side. But this year, it's a new day, y'all. It's a new day. And so I'm gonna have to rethink my viewing habits next year, maybe push the other shows to the side to watch Lithuania. And the Roop have been a huge part of that. They've really created hype. So this is already a win for Lithuania. The fact that their national selection is now gonna be on so many people's radar next year, the Roop have done their part to make Eurovision, you know, an important part of the Lithuanian diet, and I'm so excited to see it. I think you should really watch our interview with the Roop on YouTube or listen to the English language interview on our podcast on Spotify. You will learn so much. In any case, my score is a big fat 9. That is a 9. I am Team Lucy on this one. I think whereas a song like Russia would do really well in the televote, it would tank with the juries. I think that Lithuania would have a chance of doing well in both categories. So I think this really was in the mix. I don't want to say this was a clear winner because there were lots of songs in the mix, but like I think this would have been in the top 5. I feel like of the quirky songs, this is a real standout. In any case, we of course are not the only Wiwi bloggers. There are dozens all over the world, and they have also cast their votes out of 10. And when we take the global average, we get 7.85. This is an enormous score. That is enormous. Anything approaching an 8 is like so rare.
That is really good news. I'm pleased other people have taste. No, I think they deserve it. I think that, you know, if this had scored anything less than 7.5, I would have gone on a riot. So.
In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Are you reaching for the fire extinguisher or are you adding kerosene to the mix? Let us know here on Wiwi Vlogs.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like in the comments, let us know what you think about the Roop and On Fire, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video from Wiwi Blogs.
Is Lucy Percy actually aware that her score was dropped? Well, you know what? She can start her riot on Twitter. So make sure you follow us on Twitter.
And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.